Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the 2022 year ahead reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, and Venus. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for post notifications. Also, please share the video with a friend. So as I've explained in my other videos, this reading is going to be focusing on Mercury and Venus for two reasons, right? So I usually do Venus. That's a given to look into the love aspects of our life. But this year particularly, the tarot card of the year is the Lover's card, which is, is really talking about like love and relationships and partnerships in our lives. And so that's a factor of the Venus element. But also the Lover's card is a astrological representation of the zodiac sign Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication. And so that is going to be factoring heavily this year in terms of what we're going to see energetically in the overall energy. So just wanted to explain that before I go into the cards. The first deck I'm using to gauge the overall energy of the year is the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck by Marcella Kroll, and the card that came out for you is Void. The Void card is inspired by the nothing in the never-ending story, and the card description says, "Step into the unknown. All may not be revealed at this time. Trust in unseen forces. Meditate on this to let go of all attachments or possibilities, to free yourself from your dharma and increase your trust in your guides and the universe." So this is really a call just to kind of step into your power, your intuitive powers, and really allowing your intuition to guide you on decisions that you need to make. And so that's going to be kind of like the theme for you this year, is really trusting yourself and trusting your relationship with spirit, that to know that whatever you need to know will be revealed to you in the time that you need it, that it needs to be revealed to you. And so there might be things that you don't know, but that's okay. This card is coming from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. Practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. The answer to your question about how to better your career involves focusing your time and attention on a skill that's related to your heart's true interests and passions. Perhaps it's a hobby that you dream of turning into an occupation. This is possible if you will devote the time and energy to polishing your skills in this area. Visualize yourself enjoying the benefits of being successful in this endeavor. Expect the best and then do the necessary work to make this a reality. A little bit of time devoted each day to practicing will become a positive habit, yielding positive results. You'll soon notice your skills improving and your level of enjoyment increasing. Your body will intuitively learn how to automatically incorporate what you've practiced, and you'll find new inspiration as you move from an active struggle to one of freedom and joy. And so when I was preparing for this reading, 10,000 hours is the amount of hours needed to focus on a specific craft or, working on something. For 10,000 hours is said to give you master status. So I didn't know this card was coming out before I started this reading, but mastery of yourself, mastery of your craft is absolutely something that's going to be a factor for you this year. Really just putting in those hours to learn your craft completely and to be be able to say and be able to look and see how much you improved over time. And I feel like that void space that we talked about in the last card isn't just about spirituality, although spirituality in terms of practicing, it's really talking about developing a relationship with your spiritual team and really kind of learning the language that they speak and how they present things to you so that you can really master the language that happens between you and spirit, so that you can lean more and trust more in the information that they send you. It's also really too about stepping into that space where You might not necessarily know what the outcome of all this practice will yield, but there is a benefit there, right? Putting in that work into something that you really love, if you really love it, is going to be beneficial to you. It's going to be enjoyable to you, but it could manifest into other things that you might not have thought that it would when you started it. So that's something to keep in mind. Next deck is really focused on romance. It's the Romance Angels Oracle cards. And the first card that came out is Give Your Relationship a Chance. Work on your partnership. The Romance Angels see that your relationship is worth devoting effort to. Although there may be issues, these can be worked through and healed. You'll need to commit to the relationship to ensure the best chance of success. At the very least, if you do end it, you'll know that you gave it your all. You'll also understand the role that you played in its dynamics. In this way, you'll avoid attracting similarly painful situations in the future. You receive this card because there's hope for your partnership. The love is still there. Working with a counselor may be your best option at this point. This professional can identify areas of dysfunction and guide you both in healthier directions. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. You receive this card because some action steps on your part are necessary in order for your prayers about your love life to be answered. The angels have opened the doors for you, and now it's time for you to walk through them. The first thing that comes to mind with respect to taking action is a good starting place for you. When you ask for spiritual help, you always receive it. Often, this help comes in the form of intuitive guidance, which consists of repetitive feelings and thoughts. You get the sense that you should do this or that. You receive this card as a nudge to actually take that action. You'll then receive the next piece of the puzzle, meaning another intuitive message about what to do. If you like, you can ask the angels to give you the motivation, courage, time, and energy to take these steps. Know that each one brings you closer upon the pathway to great love. And so that is, in essence, really developing your relationship with spirit, showing you how to nurture that relationship and how to ask for the things that you want and how it will be given to you. And honestly, this is the first step into the void, right? But the initial answer or the initial card did say to give your relationship a chance. So if that is something that you are questioning and you were looking for the answer for that, my dear, there it is, right? So that is just something to consider. And for the rest of the questions, you just ask Spirit the questions that you need the answers to, and be open to receiving those messages that follow. The card that came out for the overall energy for you this year, Scorpio, is the Page of Wands. And this to me is really exciting energy. This is just feeling like you can do anything, that you can do anything, that you are really literally, this card is almost like a representation, if you think about it, for the Void card that came out earlier, because it's really about stepping into the space of the unknown. And I feel like you are in a space where you're feeling a little bit restless creatively. You might want to step out and try something new, go down a path that you've never gone down before, try, change your job, move away, start a new relationship, move to a new city. Like, this energy is like you're just wanting to follow this path or this journey that is in front of you, and you are curious to kind of see where it leads you. Now, remember, the note that came out about the 10,000 hours, right? So I don't feel like you're there yet. You haven't really nailed down the solid idea of what it is that you want to do. You have a couple of ideas, and I feel like you're ready to kind of try each one of them out. And that is absolutely a great thing to do, especially if you're young. early 20s or so. This is really the time for you to kind of take the opportunity to see what it is that you can do, see what path you want to go down. And so that's that type of fresh, young energy, really ready to start out on a new path. And so that is the overall energy for you this year. And it's actually really beautiful energy. So looking at the overall energy, there really is a lot going on. And it's interesting because, like I said before, the first card that came out for the overall energy for the year is the Page of Wands. I feel like it's beautiful energy to have. And I do believe that it is beautiful energy, but there's something else going on here, right? We start off in January with the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is really a call for a person to rest, to take a beat, to take a break, to really give yourself the opportunity to think about something. And so you're being asked to take a minute before you move into the next step, because you need to kind of go into this next phase with a lot of energy, and you need to heal your mind and your body before you do that, right? This card is also a card that really asks for you to really think, especially if you're going through something that is a little bit tumultuous. If you're in the middle of a breakup, if you're having a little bit of a stress or some drama in your life, and there's a lot of conflicts, whether it's financial worries, which I do see because there are a lot of pentacles on the board. So if you're in a rush to move forward, to kind of jump into the next phase of your life because you're having some upheaval at home with the Four of Wands in reverse, and also the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, then you need to take the time to think about it before you move off onto your next destination or your next step, because you need a little bit of clarity before you move into this next phase of your life. So there is a sense that you need to kind of seclude yourself from the noise around you, to really be able to listen to your own inner voice, and to really kind of be able to focus on what is actually happening or what you're about to do before you jump into it. The first 4 months of the year are a little bit hectic, right? So we had the Page of Wands in the upright initially, but here we're having the Rest card and then the Page of Wands, and it's reversed, along with the Knight of Swords and the Judgment in reverse. And so you're really being asked to kind of wait and use your judgment about the situation before you rush forward. The Knight of Swords is enthusiastic, and rushes right into something, which is kind of what you're doing here. You're trying to rush forward into this next phase of your life and trying to just move on. But the issue with the Knight of Swords is that when you rush into something, sometimes you don't really consider all the circumstances that you're rushing into, and sometimes you might enter into something that you regret because you find out later on that there's things that you didn't know or things that you couldn't have anticipated because you didn't really take the time to kind of like look around and figure out what it is that's happening or where it is that you're trying to go. The clarification card that came out is the Three of Wands. And again, the Three of Wands is this individual that's looking forward, really trying to, thinking about traveling, going to another country, really kind of like stepping out and away from where you currently are. So this is really also talking about being able to really thinking about like studying, going back to school, traveling, a business that you might want to start, really trying to learn, like I said, hone your craft, focus on those 10,000 hours to become a master of something. I think you're very aware about the opportunities and the potential of what could happen, but you have to be committed to this path to go beyond the point of where things are comfortable for you, because they might get uncomfortable, right? And I feel like you might need to be aware of the fact that things could be uncomfortable. You also need to be aware of the challenges that are going to be a part of your journey. So this card is really asking for you to be aware of potential pitfalls, especially with traveling overseas or over large bodies of water. It's great to be adventurous, and you should be adventurous, and it's good to venture and go to places that are unknown to you, probably looking for job opportunities in other countries. But I think there is the element of focusing on what the plan actually is, and not to be too scattered with the plan, but to have an actual plan. There is, for clarification purposes, for the Nine of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, we're really talking about financial issues here, right? Kind of like feeling like, you've come through a rough period financially, and this is probably the reason why you feel like you need to venture out, you need to do more, you need to make more money, you need to do this. But I think there is, with the clarification of the Queen of Swords and the Two of Wands, there really needs to be a time where you sit down and plan. And that's the truth of it. And for some of you, you might have a person that's in your ear really trying to tell you this, and you might not be necessarily listening to them. That person could be a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini person. They might be trying to communicate that to you or with you, telling you that you need to think about changing the way you're looking at the way that you're trying to execute your plan, and you might not be listening, right? It feels like there are other people that you are kind of like in the space of like celebrating with about this decision, and you might not be seeing necessarily clearly what the outcome will be, because I think you're just really focused on the actual journey and the end goal. So while you're focused on that, I think you don't necessarily see that these people that are around you are not necessarily telling you the truth. The Ace of Swords is the energy of, you don't really know, like the card said earlier, you don't really know the full story. When you have the Ace of Swords here and you have the Eight of Swords, the difference between that is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is really some sneaky energy, someone who is not necessarily telling you the full story, or you might not be necessarily telling someone else the full story, but it's an energy of deceit. And so that is kind of hidden in all of this partying. And in the end, you're kind of sitting with the Empress in reverse, which is, the Empress in reverse is like Libra and Taurus vibes, right? It's really the energy of creation, the energy of living like a good life. And I feel like this dynamic that's going on with these individuals is kind of taking that away from you, and it's going to give you the ability to not create the life that you're actually trying to create. The truth is that if you aren't really aware of the actual steps that you're trying to take, you run the risk of kind of losing the foundation that you have currently with the Four of Wands in reverse and also the Ace of Cups in reverse. That's like really talking about like the ending of a relationship. And I believe earlier the card that came out was to work on the relationship that you have. So if you're trying to move away from your home, trying to end a relationship because this is what you want to do, you want to travel overseas, you want to go away, you want to start a business, I think that you should really think about actually planning this out to the T, because there is a sense that you're going to be losing resources, losing a lot due to this decision. Yeah, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Hangman that's like asking you to wait. This goes back to the Four of Swords energy, which is asking you to take a pause, that the timing may not be right for this decision for you to leave. It might be a little bit of a hasty decision. Again, the Page of Swords in reverse is showing up. And like I said earlier, the page is really about talking about rushing into something without really thinking of it. So if this could also be rushing into a new relationship without really paying attention to the red flags, and really kind of understanding who it is that you're dealing with, or who it is that you're trying to start something with. Whoever this Queen of Swords person person is, like I said, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. They're trying to point out to you what is happening in this dynamic that you're dealing with, in terms of like this Three of Cups energy, where you're out, you're having a good time, you're celebrating. I don't think they don't want you to be happy. They're just trying to tell you that A, you need to make a plan. B, you could be moving from something good into something worse. And you really need to use your judgment. There is this thing that kind of dropped into my head, is that misery loves company. And sometimes the people that are around you might not necessarily want the best for you. And they might have hidden motives or hidden agendas that you aren't even aware of. And if you're making decisions based on something that isn't really rooted in anything solid, or is given to you by people who don't necessarily have your best interests at heart, you're going to end up losing a lot because of it. So you need to be really mindful about who you're taking advice from, and also, if you are going to jump out into this world and make a plan for yourself, which is a great energy, like I said, you do need to have a plan. Throughout the process, I don't know if you noticed this, but the numbers started from Three of Wands, and it went down to Two of Wands, and it went down to the Ace in reverse. So this is really talking about taking steps backwards, which is seemingly what's happening here, instead of taking steps forward. It's really about understanding where to invest your time and energy, where to invest the resources that you have, because you want to create this life, but I feel like you're giving more out than you're actually receiving back in. And you're going to be struggling a little bit with your finances. And like I said, I don't like this. Ten of Pentacles keeps coming out, which is really like a financial loss. And then also there is the Five of Pentacles. So what we're seeing here is you really do want to be mindful of your finances. You don't want to overspend. You don't want to overindulge. You need to invest your time, energy, in creating the life that you want. Taking those things and moving forward with them, and moving forward with the ideas that you have, but with a solid plan. And I think you need to also depend more on the advice from spirit, as opposed to the people that are around you, because I don't necessarily think that they're trustworthy. In the placement for the December placement, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which again is really taking a financial loss, a financial hit, possibly losing your home and your family. And this is the clarification for these cards is the Chariot in reverse, and also the Star in reverse. And that's basically an energy of, no, don't move forward. Don't move forward with this idea at this time. Don't lose faith either. You need both of those things. You need faith, and you need to hold on to your base, your family structure, your family. These are important. So please take this into consideration during this year. I know you want to branch out. You are restless and you do want to do more, and that is again something that is amazing, but I feel like you need to invest some time and energy and kind of figuring out what it is that you actually want to do, and devoting your time and energy in a way that is going to support that dream by putting in the work where it needs to go, and not wasting your time, your energy, or your resources into something that's not going to deliver you what it is that you ultimately want. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for being here and for listening. I hope that this message helps you with whatever decision it is that you're trying to make at this time. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with someone that you think could benefit from the message. I will see you soon.